Hello everybody,
Hi guys.
welcome to the stream. My name is Sebastian,
And I'm Robin.
and today we're going to take you through a pretty hard playthrough from what I've understood.
Yes.
And that was Frederick Wester just peeking his head into the studio.
Randomly showed up.
Yeah. So tell us, what are we doing here?
Yes. So for those of you who didn't watch last week's stream, I started a new playthrough on 500 and something % difficulty, 520 I think, which I did a couple of weeks before that as well and failed miserably. So I got my revenge chance last week, started a new playthrough. It's been going better. We're going to continue that playthrough today.
Nice. So I'll just preempt this. Nikki is busy with other things, and Susie, she is sick.
Yes, they've both been working very hard lately.
Yeah, I think...
unlike you and me.
Unlike you and me, we haven't worked at all. So tell us, what's the... Give us a quick run through.
Yeah, absolutely. We just started the game, so I actually need to remember myself. So we'll do this together.
Yay!
So this is still the first rocket that I managed to land. So what I did last playthrough was I just got the basic structure up and running, started getting the fuel production here. We've done quite a bit of exploration. And things are looking pretty good. There's a lot of anomalies here. I did find water, which I didn't do the first time I tried this map. So we're in a better place now. So I believe what I was starting to do last week was to get a pipeline and improve the drone coverage up here to be able to actually get to this water. Because I have one moisture evaporator, it's a difficult word, connected, which is enough to sustain the fuel production, but we need more water in order to set up the first dome, so that's the priority now.
All right.
Yes, let's have a quick look at research also. So robotics, it's a bit of a luxury thing. It's not essential, but I haven't actually...
Aren't the on physics? I think I like that one.
This one is really good. Yeah,
that one's really nice. And we're highly elevated, so having wind power is probably preferable.
Yeah, you actually make a good point. I'm just going to add it to the queue since this one is soon finished. But I actually think, now that I think about it, I think this might be the second rocket. Because I think I had 2 rockets in this playthrough.
Yeah.
Because I have the Explorer now, and I couldn't fit that on the first rocket last time around. And the transport, it's up here collecting. Yes.
What's the rocket situation like? We have 2 available, right?
I believe no. I'm playing Russia, so we actually do have one. So I managed to send 1 rocket back and then got a new one. And I think that's one of the things that happened just at the end of the last stream. This one landed. I got the Explorer and the transport. Then they got started with work.
Are we going to face some issues with the cold wave?
Yes, I expect as much. But I did research subsurface heater, so that should help us.
Yeah, and the subsurface heater is mostly
help us for this one.
Yeah, it's mostly for... Oh, new text available.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. So, let's see. Oh, Susie is on the chat.
Hey, Susie.
Hello, Susie.
You should be resting.
Yeah, you should be resting. Where are you up?
Maybe doing a bit of active resting. Let's see.
If you guys have any sort of questions, technical questions about the game or anything like that, we have the producer in the building.
Yes, who is slightly more knowledgeable than anybody else at the publishing side of things.
Yeah. Any plans to stream builds/DLCs still in development in the near future? I think the answer to that is yes. There are going to be free updates coming.
Yeah.
We are going to let you guys know more about the content of those updates very soon. And we are, of course, when the time is right, we are going to show this stuff to you guys, as soon as we have acceptable builds.
Yep.
Pretty much. So yeah, and we're going to flesh out the information about all the different free stuff that's coming in the near future as soon as we possibly can.
Yes.
Research complete. Anomaly analyzed.
Where can I get a free copy? Get a nice friend who can buy one for you.
Yeah. I too wish I could get more free stuff in my life.
There was also a question about, is the game considered complete as of now? And Coronius answered actually with, no Paradox game will ever be complete. And there is a sense of truth in that, because we always support our games.
Yes.
Quite long after they launch.
Exactly.
So of course there is a season pass that people have bought. That is of course going to be populated with a lot of DLCs. And as usual with Paradox, we're going to release a number of free updates that come with that.
Yes.
So the game is still being developed. It's going to be developed.
Yes,
even
of course.
more.
Yeah.
Of course. Is the best tactic to take just to keep the humans off the planet as long as possible?
I've never utilized, or I have never done anything like that myself. I want to get colonists as soon as possible, because they open up a lot more options for me. I've never.
I mean, if you don't get, you can choose to do that, but if you do that, you're going to have a hard time to develop most of your colony, obviously.
Exactly.
And I mean, nobody can die if nobody's on the planet.
No, and research will be going very slow. You really want a lot of the technologies available.
Battery.
Thank you. That's excellent backseat co-op there. Of course, I need to get the resources up there. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and so we had a question about a patch for PS4, and as most of you probably know, when you update on console, it needs to go through quite rigorous testing. Hence the delays, and hence why there's a difference to when it comes out on PC and when it comes out on console.
Yes.
We are pushing through as quickly as we possibly can.
Yes. And there is a big update coming for console players.
Yes.
Soon.
Yes.
We can't say when yet, but we will soon.
We will soon. TM.
Yes. Also, we're aware that console players have been waiting a bit longer than we want them to wait, and things will be they will be going faster in the future. The first update has taken a lot of time. It will be with you soon. Past that point, there will always still be a bit of a delay between PC and console. The only reason for that is, like, the alternative would be to just sit on the PC update and just wait until console is ready. And while I can still understand why a console player would feel that they want it at the same time as PC players, that's the only way we could make that happen. And then we essentially have PC players just waiting because we want to get things out at the same time. It's also safer on our end to roll out patches a bit staggered, because if we need to submit them or launch them at the same time, we are running into a lot more issues in general. It's more likely that things will break or go wrong at the last second. So there's that problem for us to deal with as well.
Let me see. Do we have anything else? iCrafter 2015 says, I pre-ordered the game, used the Stellaris dome skin once, and it disappeared, never to be seen again.
What?
I think any sort of bugs that you find, report them on the forums.
Yes, there's a place on our website to do it as well. I don't remember the URL. But yes, but that sounds really weird. I've never heard of that particular issue before.
Report it, and we'll take a look at it as quickly as we can.
Yes. Set up some recharge stations as well. I realized I've kind of stopped doing that. I used to use the recharge stations a lot more in earlier versions of the game, and then lately I've been kind of forgetting about them.
Anomaly analyzed.
That one's good. Might want to rearrange this later, we'll see.
Maybe you don't need decommission protocol this early.
You might make a good point, because this is the only thing I actually want to
get rid of.
That's actually fine, you're right. You know, that one. Honestly, I want to remove that one as well.
Yeah, let's up that research.
Yes.
Have we? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Have we seen any breakthrough technologies yet?
I don't think so. Not for this game yet. Let's see what we can see up here.
Because I keep mixing them together. What's the difference between the key symbol and like the research symbol?
So the key symbol, that unlocks your basic technologies. So
Yeah.
basically it enables more options in these different trees or branches. The one with the what's that word in English? A magnifying glass. That unlocks breakthroughs, and then you have the one. There's none of those right now with an eye on it, and that's basically that could be a bit of everything. Like sometimes it reveals a rare metal deposit. Sometimes it enables you to choose between different options. One of them might give you a science boost, and the other one might give you funding, for example. So those are a bit more varied.
How's that explorer doing? Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Go. No,
you're
he's
right.
gonna die. He's gonna die.
I think he was so close to that, but you're right. Wouldn't be able to finish the. There we go.
Sector scanned.
Cold wave's gonna end soon. I should figure out the next step. Now I have water, so I should set up oxygen as well. Wait, where did I want to place the first dome? Probably down here. Yeah, I could have a dome here, and that would give me access to that one. I think that's what I'm gonna
What's our funding situation?
It's pretty decent, I think, 2.3. You know, by the way, that you can zoom out much further now. It's one of the things the community gave us feedback on. Maybe once.
Nice. Can I say that again?
Yeah. Well, this essentially, I don't know if you remember, but before you could zoom out to maybe here or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
further.
nifty.
Yes.
And it kind of looks more smooth as well when you go out into the big view.
Yeah, and it was a good point. Like you often wanted, as soon as you start spreading your colony a bit more, you kind of just want to go pretty far out, but still be able to move around.
And that's a Metropolis dome set, right?
Yes. Let's see here. Good. Oh, Jesus, I need to set up oxygen as
well. Like Martin says, the game is developed by Heimimont down in Bulgaria, and we are the publisher.
Yes, this is correct.
For the game.
Okay, and let's send the explorer back. Send the transport to collect a bit more metal. All right. Decent amount of resources. Metal is a bit
I
weak.
think we're gonna have a metal problem soon.
Yes, which is why I sent the
Yeah.
transport out. Also, the benefit of setting up a dome up here. Fuck it.
I mean, you have
Dare to win.
actually both up there.
Yes.
But the problem is that you're further away from your.
I'm gonna set it up here. The thing is, my goal is still to prioritize the metal, but I will be able to set up another dome like up here later on anyway.
So it says that it was when you placed it, it said cold terrain. Does that mean it's gonna draw more power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as you can see, like this area in general is pretty cold.
Yeah.
So
Can't really.
I'm
do
just gonna have to
anything
deal
about
with it.
Yeah. Get good.
I should prepare a bit more for that as well. Get some more of these. Now what I'm gonna do as well, because as you can see here, I have like a water tower and an oxygen tank down here. I'm gonna set 2 of these up really close to the dome as well, like if something happens, if there's a meteor strike or something, that I don't immediately run out of. And you want to have a few more of these anyway.
Pixel Cereals asks, if running power lines, can I place a building on them and not have to make sure there's a connection?
My brain is struggling with understanding the question. So if I understand,
so could you place like here?
Yeah.
Could you place like a building there?
Mm.
I mean, if it was just a power line.
No.
No.
It would break the power connection.
Yeah. But wouldn't so if you have like a power line that goes into the dome, for example, and it comes out, and you have another power line that goes out from the dome on the other side and goes into the power grid. Would that?
No.
Could you use it as kind of a?
This is where I struggle as a producer, because I've played many different variations of this game where things work differently as well.
Let's try it.
Yeah, sure. But because now that you mention it, I go like, no, I'm pretty sure that this will still generate power.
Yeah, but let's like, because it's going to connect here, right?
Yes.
So could you could you draw it down and take away this, and it would still work?
I think so.
Yeah.
And what I realized was the difference was you can't put like if I just put a building here, like put the what did I do now? If I take a metal extractor and I just place this here, it's not going to get a power connection.
No,
because buildings don't transfer power to other buildings.
Yeah. But if you place it like there, if you place it just like if you place it 1 hex away from the building and then just have one power line to it from the other building, it would. The building would transfer.
Yes.
There.
Exactly.
Research complete.
I'm not gonna need more concrete. Gonna put another storage area there. Good.
So Martin asks, do all buildings transfer electrical power this way, or only domes and tunnels? I think we should just try it instead of like guessing.
But I'm pretty sure that all buildings does it.
They should.
What should be a good building to actually try this with?
I mean the dome. Oh well, yeah. Just have a Moxie or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Moxie is a good idea actually.
It's not too expensive.
Let's do a try here. I'll be able to show you live. If I do this, Another Moxie there. Of course, this needs to finish as well.
Do we even have concrete?
Yeah,
Didn't
absolutely.
that die, the thing?
No, but I had plenty. So it's fine.
Alright.
Problem is that this still needs to be transported. It's
Yeah.
going to take a while. I could help out with the RC transport, actually.
Let's do that.
Jesus Christ. Honestly, I'm not sure if that's the way it works, but I'm getting the feeling that the cold areas drain more power from the vehicles as well.
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, that... Oh, shit. You're out of power on the Explorer?
Yeah, and it had
You'll
like
have
half power when I sent it up here, so...
Yeah. Should probably...
Drop this off first. So now these aren't connected, but that's because the dome isn't built.
Yeah.
But that's what I expect anyway.
Anomaly analyzed.
There we go. You head down there,
Vehicle
and
battery
you
low.
continue getting more metal. Oh wait, you should
Ah,
probably
yes.
charge this one as well. Okay.
And
Oh, this
nice to
one's
see
nice.
you here, Keb Zero. I remember on previous streams where you have been along with us.
Mm-hmm.
Cool to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to have regulars.
Yeah, it's cool to have regulars. It makes us feel a bit special.
Yes.
Cable fault reported.
Nurgle, could you... Yeah, thank you. So what the cold areas do, XX Obsidian Spectre XX, good name. Drain more power,
Yes.
question mark. Yes, that is mainly what they do. Cold areas can also freeze up your water, which you can counter that by creating sub-zero heaters.
Subsurface heaters.
Subsurface
Yes.
heaters, not sub-zero heaters. That would be crazy.
That's not very hot.
That's not a heater. Yeah, so they create. Yeah, so that's pretty much what they do. Are there any other things that
No, it's
cold
mainly
areas
the
can
power
do?
drain. That's the
Power
big thing.
drain screws up your
Research
water.
complete.
I'm
Uh,
not sure if the cold areas actually freeze your water supplies. Cold waves definitely do that.
Cold
but,
waves do.
Let's
try it out.
Is this area cold? We'll see once it's built. I can set up another one, just try it out. But now the dome is getting built, so we'll be able to tell... oh no, you're right. Oh my god. Yeah, buildings freeze in cold areas. This makes sense,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure that that's the way it would work.
It gets kind of confusing when you've played so many different branches of the
Yes.
same game. So, I mean, you've been working on this as a producer for how long?
A little over 2 years.
Yeah. So sometimes you get like confused. Like, was it in this? Was
Yes.
it in this or that or that?
So in a sense, like I felt more knowledgeable about the game like 1 year ago.
Yeah.
And now you always get this like, I think this is the way it worked, or did we change that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need to build subsurface heaters, so I'm gonna need more machine parts. So I'm gonna order another rocket with machine parts, but I wanted to see if this finished.
So the software samurai has a question. When a subsurface heater loses power and freezes, is destroying and rebuilding it the only option?
I don't know. If subsurface heaters...
If it loses power and
Mm.
freezes, does it freeze though?
Shouldn't. But if it loses power, I guess it could. But you would have to build this in a cold area then, I assume, because the cold, like when the cold wave is over, your drones will repair your buildings and they will be functioning as usual again. It's actually a good point. You might need to tear down and build a new one, or just build up a secondary one nearby.
You know what? We're going to need one here anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's.
no, because these are temporary buildings. I'm gonna take them away, but I'm gonna set it up because I want to try this and make sure that it actually works. But I think these will be getting power, so. But I'm gonna order a rocket and get some more machine parts.
All right, Keb0, who is the expert in chat, actually manages to answer the questions that we cannot.
The publisher has no idea.
So Keb0 says, so you'd have to rebuild it or build a new heater to unthaw the old one. It makes perfect sense.
Yes.
It's the way it should be.
I did not have a machine parts factory, so I'm gonna order that one as well. Ooh, we have a breakthrough that I haven't checked out. Take one of those. Take lots of these. Bit of polymers. And I'll try this out.
Yeah, load it up with juice, man.
No, that's pretty handy. Not right now,
Not
but
yet.
later.
Yeah. We can't even... Can we construct drones yet?
No, I need a drone assembler for that, which is locked behind the technology that usually gets unlocked around here.
The thing that I usually like to research really early is the apartments. Because that stuff, like the smaller domes, they just can't contain enough people. So like, to me, if you wanna like extract both metal and the rare metal there, it's not gonna be enough if you just have regular houses.
Yep. And we're already out of power. We're actually gonna upgrade these. You're entirely right. Wind power is gonna be really good on this map.
And for anyone who has joined us late, we are currently trying to build on one of the most difficult maps in the entire game.
Yes.
And I think we're doing pretty well so far.
So far.
We'll
a bit distracted, but
we'll probably be hit by some horrible disaster soon. I remember us playing this the last time, not the last stream, but when you and me played it on the console, and everything went downhill from the first minute, and we realized that this is not gonna work out.
The shame was strong for me there.
Yeah.
But things are definitely going better. But now it's kind of like when you get past the point, like you get water and everything, then things are kind of gravy right now. But it's going to be more difficult as I get more colonists later on, more disasters, and you're building in this cold area here, which is going to be a bit of a challenge.
So we have a question from Ragul regarding PS4. On PS4, I can't select workers in mines and factories, so I can't move them to other domes or workplaces. Is there a control combination to select your workers, or is it just not working?
This sounds like one of the issues we're aware of that we have a fix for, which is coming in the first update for consoles, which should be out pretty soon.
Yeah.
If it's the one, I think. But it's basically that with the gamepad, you can't select a specific colonist in a work shift, which then
obviously creates
issue.
problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're really sorry about that one.
We're fixing it though.
Yes.
Can colonists work in a different dome than the one where they live? Currently, no.
No, but in one of the updates that will also be out pretty soon, you will be able to connect domes together.
Yeah. So in one of the major free updates that we're coming out with, we're going to include a thing called passages, which is a way to connect your domes basically between each other, and the colonists will be able to move between them.
Yes.
Care level 0. This is making from some nice background while I work. Thanks, Paradox folks. Thank you for being with us.
You're a nice background while we're working.
Exactly. Making us smile.
Yes.
This is actually an interesting question that I don't have the answer to. I hope you have the answer to it.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. can colonists from several domes work in a mine if the domes overlap the mine?
Yes,
Yes, they can.
that's entirely possible. So if the mine exists within the area of influence of 2 domes, colonists from both domes will be able
Yeah.
to work in that mine.
Also, we are going to part of all the free stuff that we are giving away to you. We have our first free our first content pack, which we're not going to talk about in detail on what it ensues, but we are going to release the first content pack for free to you guys. For everyone who has bought the season pass, that will of course mean that we add another content pack to that one.
Of course.
So people who have bought the season pass will
Yes.
still get what
Yeah.
they have paid for,
Of course.
which is really important for us to stress. But the first content pack that was supposed to be paid is actually going out for free to you guys, and all of the different details about that will reveal soon enough. However, we don't want to talk about it just yet.
No.
Let us know what's in the content pack. I really want to say everything, but I can't.
And we have lots of stuff planned for you guys. So
Yeah.
you will be...
Like we said earlier, Surviving Mars is very much a living game to us. There are going to be several DLCs that come out, and we want to stress several free updates coming out as well.
Yeah.
We generally like to support our games for as long as possible. So J. Vilnis Aust asks, what do people use in the early game for power, solar panels or wind generators? We've got a few answers. Let them know in the chat. What do you usually use? I mean, it depends on the elevation you have.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think. So I personally almost always use wind power because wind power doesn't shut off.
No, it's reliable in that sense, but you have to be careful because it's going to consume a lot of machine parts, both to build them, but primarily through maintenance.
Yeah.
You need to have a good supply of solar panel as well, and make sure that you have power accumulators so that the excess power you're getting in during the day is enough to sustain you through the night cycle, or that's the way I primarily play it.
Yeah, so you like to have more of a balanced kind of way to play it.
Yes. Now we can actually show, I mean, while this hasn't been connected with the pipe, so it's not getting any water, but it is getting power.
And we also have a dust storm, which is clogging that Moxie.
Well, it's gonna start soon. It hasn't started yet.
Yeah, it has.
What?
Remaining duration.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, you can see in the valley.
I hate it when you're right. Yes.
Too
So I actually
often.
think this effect is so cool that you
Yeah.
see the dust storm clearly down here, and then it's a bit like less when you're up here.
Yeah.
Would have been cool though if the dust storm had like it didn't impact you as much on higher elevations.
Maybe some feedback to us.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
ourselves to ourselves.
From us to us.
So Mopar63 asks, will passages allow the creation of a specialized housing dome, allow colonists to live in one dome and work in another? Yes.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes, absolutely. But I guess you'd still want, I mean, this is kind of a question, but you'd still need that dome to be filled with certain, I mean, you don't want a completely barren dome, because then people are going to go, this is not very comfortable to live in.
No, exactly. Well, there's going to be that. I mean, still, colonists, their comfort will be decided by the services they are able to get.
Yeah.
And if they can get those from a neighboring dome, then their comfort level will still be pretty high.
Yeah.
But in theory, you should be able to build a dome that is entirely based on housing, and then you have lots of service buildings in a neighboring dome. That should work. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of tactics people employ to utilize this, because you'll be able to do it in many different ways.
Yeah. Marl asks, is this the map start that was lost in another stream because there was only one shuttle and no fuel? Yes, this is the one. Thank you for reminding us of that humbling defeat. It dawned on us like the second half of the stream that there's no way we're going to be able to fix this.
No. And it would have been, if I just wouldn't have meddled with the recommended cargo rocket loadout, we would have been fine.
Yeah. That
was entirely my bad.
Is the percentage something like 500 or something on this one?
520, I believe. I can still see that from here. 500, yeah.
500%, people. So, Keb Zero, I believe you have the chords, don't you? There was someone in the last stream who was the one who actually discovered these coordinates.
Now I shamefully can't remember his online nick. We named a rover after him, I think.
It wasn't Keb Zero, it was someone else. It was Charlie something?
Maybe?
Oh man. I wish he was here, or she.
Yeah, so he could tell us. Yeah, or she. No, that's fair.
Shame to both of you. Charlie Pryor.
Charlie
Charlie Pryor. Thank you, Tranqui. 44112 West. Awesome. I remember now. Thank you. Please try this out. It's a challenging map, and I imagine in the later stages, when you start to get more colonists, more demands, it's going to be even harder.
Yes.
I mean, this is still... early game is not the hardest part of the game, I think.
No.
To me, at least.
No, to me, it's definitely when you reach the point where you start getting maybe 2 to 3 domes. That's usually where I start to struggle in my playthroughs.
Charlie Pryor. The Dooms, the man or woman of doom.
Yes, the bringer of doom. What am I doing? I'm building an infirmary. That's what I'm doing. I'm also setting up a farm.
You know what I started to do when I built my domes? I started to have because I realized that I tend to just not place a lot of fountains and parks and nice things. So what I do is I place smaller buildings in the middle and the back of the building area in the small domes, and then I just surround them with nice little it looks like a big park that surrounds it. It looks really nice. We should try it.
Maybe I will. I'm a creature of habits. I build my domes very similarly every time. So whenever I use the 3 hex buildings, I always place them this way, and I put a little park something in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I usually get one 3 hex sized park in one of the other areas as well. That's usually enough to kind of sustain the population with enough comfort. Metal is really an issue. Apparently so is oxygen. Why though?
Sakotera says, no diner, hungry colonists.
Grocer.
But I prefer having the diner because then they can enjoy themselves.
Yes, but that requires more people, so I don't go for that one when I'm going to get the founders to the planet, because I want to be able to, as efficiently as possible, distribute the population across the needed work shifts. That's why I don't have it. But don't get me wrong, the diner is really good. And I will build one later.
But I guess we kind of don't have the luxury of doing these nice things right now.
No, this is 500%. It's all about efficiency and me making mistakes live on stream for everybody to watch.
Yeah. It's really comfortable for me.
When I play.
I can just sit here and just talk.
Yes.
And you get to...
I trust you to see the things that I miss.
Yeah. And I trust the chat to see the things that I miss.
It's a nice little ecosystem we have here. And the chat trusts us to supply them with good information about how the game works.
Yeah. Marl thinks that when we make mistakes, it's the best part because they help us learn.
That's true. You can learn from
That's
our
a
mistakes.
that's a very very wholesome comment.
Yes.
Anomaly found.
Eventually, I'm gonna need to build a tunnel down here to this area.
Like I see the use of tunnels and I love having tunnels,
Mm.
but they're so expensive.
They are.
They're so expensive.
But if they weren't, like, it would be very, like, you would just set up, like, 3 or 4 tunnels, whatever you need to
Yeah.
be able to access the other areas. And, like,
What do they require concrete and maintenance?
they don't require maintenance, I'm pretty sure. 99% sure.
Research complete.
But
Anomaly
the main
found.
issue for me is that 30 machine parts is it's
Mm.
heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Good,
Especially
good.
we have the sponsor that we have.
Yes. And you can take off.
And the chat will never let you forget the lessons you have learned, says Martin.
This is true.
Yep. I mean, we expect you to. We expect you to keep us on our toes and letting us never forget.
525%, which was actually a little bit harder. I think we took a different mission sponsor this time
Yeah.
around, which is why it's a little bit easier.
Mm.
But to be fair, I'm pretty sure I took the mission sponsor that I
Mm.
didn't want to take, and Susie forced me to and said,
Mm.
if you don't want it, you should probably take it because
Yeah.
it's going to be more difficult for
Yeah.
you. But technically, from a gameplay perspective, it's a little bit easier.
Mm. Please create the HRE. Lol.
The HRE?
Oh, you're not a PDS guy.
No, I'm not.
I play all the PDS titles. It means the Holy Roman Empire.
Ah, of course it does.
I guess we could make a number of small colonies that would represent the
Mm.
different German states, and
Mm.
then, I don't know, elect an emperor or something. Forget what I just said.
So
That was a
this
ridiculous
sounds
idea.
awesome. I would not be the right person to do this.
No. But we require it, Robin. We require
I played like I actually want to play more Stellaris because I was
Mm.
part. I did some playtests for that.
Mm.
I really like it,
Research
but I've just never gotten around to playing it. I played a lot of CK2 for science. I was working on another project and I needed to
Yeah.
research a few games and I needed to play CK2, so I basically sat down and watched a bunch of Let's Plays and then
Mm.
started playing that. But the first time I ever played a Paradox Grand Strategy title was Victoria 2.
Yeah.
And I came in as like a Civilization fan. I was like, wow, this looks really cool. It looks like Civilization, but a bit harder and more complex. I liked
Mm.
it. And I started up Victoria 2. I think I spent like 2 hours trying to figure out like what to do. Just
Yeah.
like going around the UI. I think there was some kind of help section or some kind of like information part that I tried to read through, and I really tried to get into the game.
Yeah.
Failed miserably, and then I didn't play another Grand Strategy title for several years.
Yeah. It's a steep learning curve.
Yeah, but from what I've gathered, Victoria 2 is pretty hard. Like, it's nowhere near CK2 or
Well, no,
EU4.
because I think the thing with Victoria 2 is that you always end up with a billion revolutions on your hands, and like it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna end up there, which makes sense because it's a game about the time
yeah.
when everyone had a little revolution.
Yes.
So it makes sense, but it makes it incredibly hard. Also, the like kind of combat, very difficult.
Yeah.
I found. I love Victoria 2.
I mean, you play a
lot.
lot of the Grand Strategy titles.
I do.
So you would know.
I'm not saying I'm good at them.
Mm.
I'm just saying I play them. Because if I say I'm good at them, someone here in the office is going to challenge me to do the dev clash or something, and then people are gonna find out that I'm a fraud.
Yes. It's kind of like...
Because compared to like Johan Andersson or like
Yeah,
Jake or like
yeah.
people like I'm just not even close.
No, but the competition within the company is pretty strong.
It is. So the Software Samurai has a question.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we'll be able to answer it. We'll see. I've seen many cable faults on cables that aren't connected to anything on either end. Is that a bug?
No, a cable can still get a fault. It will look like you're losing power because you are losing power on that power line. But since it's not connected to anything,
It
if
doesn't
that's the
affect
case,
your total.
yeah, you're not actually losing anything.
Yeah.
Like it will only drain power from power output buildings connected to the line that has the fault. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. But your drones are still going to attempt to fix it, right?
Yeah, of course. If they're
Yeah.
in range and there's a piece of metal nearby they can use, they will. That's kind of like where you want to pay attention to your colony. I haven't done it perfectly here, but I do keep it a bit in mind. Like, don't have unnecessary branches of lines and piping going out to nothing because you need to maintain them.
Yeah.
Oh, great, a meteor storm. I hope that does not hit my colony, I said without daring fate.
It will, and that will run out of power.
Shut up. Okay, wait.
Hate to say I told you so.
No, but it's fine. Like,
MJ84 says, has there been any new features shown or anything? Joined 2 minutes ago. For everyone who just joined, we haven't shown any new features because there's not many new features to show yet.
we're playing on the release branch, so this is the same version of the game that you guys have
Yeah.
access to.
However, we have talked a little bit about passages, which is a coming feature
Yes.
in the next free update. And the passages are going to connect your domes together, which is, I think, the feature that most people have wanted to get their hands on.
Yes.
So we do listen to you guys. That thing was in the plan from the beginning, actually.
Well, it wasn't from the beginning. What actually happened was that when we were nearing the completion of the game, we had a lot of discussions, Paradox and Hemimont, where we started realizing, like, and actually for a long while, from our end, we expected that to be the case in the game based on how we had read certain game design documents, etc. But it turned out that wasn't the case, and then we had a long conversation about that. Part of that was kind of setting expectations and everything, and we talked about kind of the game design intention from the developer side as well, what they wanted to achieve with the game and how they wanted every dome to be its separate ecosystem, because it creates a lot of specific gameplay challenges where you have you can't just have access to all the buildings in the game available. You have to sort of choose, which is a sensible way of thinking. But at the same time, we felt like there's still a player fantasy that we want to deliver on, where it's reasonable to expect that the colonists would be in some form able to move between domes, at least if they're kind of close by to each other. So we started drafting ideas, or Hemimont started drafting ideas of how to do that, etc. So we kind of had that in the making. We weren't sure, we had this theory that some people at least would expect this to be the case. But we had to guess, okay, that's fair, but how many of those will feel that really needs to be the case once they've actually played the game, because then you start understanding how things are working and facing those challenges. And we weren't sure, which is kind of the thing in this industry as well. A lot of the times we're just guessing.
Yeah.
And we don't know until we release the game.
And if you guys, we do, we read everything that we can get our hands on. So if you do have suggestions on, I'd like to see this in the game, we can't, of course, guarantee that will happen, but we will definitely read it and take it into account.
Yep.
So if you do have suggestions on how to make the game better, in your opinion, please head over to the forums and let us know, because we read that stuff.
What am I doing, Sebastian?
Uh,
I need to get colonists now.
you need to get colonists there. We do have a rocket available, I think. So
Yes, I'm gonna set up a garden as well because I'm gonna want that. This should be enough to keep people kind of happy in the founder stage.
yeah, you do have the hydroponic farm.
I do.
How much do you think? How big of a population does the hydroponic farm support?
That's a good question. I've never actually calculated. It will definitely support a smaller population of like 10 to 12 people. That shouldn't be a problem. Of course, sometimes you could run into a kind of you get a bad crop, or you have some water shortage or something in a short time period that will kind of damage your crops. That could impact it. But if you have a little bit of a reserve like that you've gotten via rocket supply, you should be fine. I don't want any officers at this stage of the game.
Kukukachu came with a suggestion. First person drone view. That would be kind of cute.
It would. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. You could do it with the rover as well. You can actually drive the rover. I'm not saying you can. That of course takes a bit of development effort.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Pixel Cereals said that thanks for or stay well, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you so much. He has one small complaint about the game for consoles, which is about that the text is a touch too small.
Okay.
Cable fault reported.
It's a question of screen space, right?
Yes, it is.
How much information you need to get in to be able to fully understand what is going on in your dome.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'm not a professional.
No, but that's definitely the case. In our particular case, it's also a matter of like supporting many platforms at the same time, and not wanting to diverge versions too much. So we want to have a UI that, as much as possible, we don't do it fully, of course, but as much as possible, works for both platforms.
Yeah.
But point taken. That will probably be discussed more on our end.
Yeah. Thank you for that suggestion.
Research complete.
Yeah, so colonists should arrive pretty soon. It's kind of nice point in time for next game, because I think we're close to...
Yeah, we're close to... We've got about 4-5 minutes left, I believe. So there is Raymond Swing asks for a link to the forum. Could someone please, Candy Alien, could you please, if you're still there, please post a link to the forums? It would be really cool. So that people who want to come with suggestions or read more stuff about the game or have discussions can do so.
Yeah. Soon can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I don't disagree. Hey, we're gamers too. We want to get stuff out as early as absolutely possible. It's always a balance between getting something out to you guys as quickly as possible and quality testing.
Yeah, of course. We have to make sure, or as best as possible, like you have to create the things, like you create the features and the content, or the developers do this.
Yeah.
They need to iterate as well, because they have an idea of what they want to do, and then they implement it and they realize like, this is not working as well as we would have hoped. We need to fix it, and then there's going to be feedback rounds between them and us as well.
Yeah.
And that takes time, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we wanna keep us a high quality level as we possibly can with the time that we get.
Of course.
And someone asks, when's the first DLC plan or big content patch? Apoc Sama. More information will come very soon. TM.
Soon.
I believe. Yeah, we have. We should have 2 or 3 minutes left. So let's see. What's our next move before the next? Are we gonna play on this map the next stream? Do you think?
If I'm streaming next week as well, we will probably play this map again, I think. Unless you guys really want us to do something different, then you should let us know, and we can maybe arrange for something else. I don't know if Nikki won't be here next week either, so it probably will be me. I think.
Guys, we need to wrap up to prepare for the next stream. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Thank you.
You're an awesome community. We really like talking to you, and thanks for being with us. And we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.